What's good, YouTube? It's your boy hitting one again.
And we finally got our hands on the Battlefield 2042 beta. Now, I just want to let y'all know right off the bat, I am playing this game on hardware that is several years old now. Again, my build is from 2016, so the beta runs pretty bad on my PC. Hopefully they can iron out the performance issues for launch, but I don't know, man. I don't know if the GTX 1080 will be able to play this game to its full potential, even in the full game. So I don't know, maybe I'll have to get the PS5 version and refine the Origin version, but we'll see. But anyways, let's talk about some of the gameplay. I've encountered a couple different glitches here and there, nothing too game breaking because I mean it is a beta, but there was one when I was using one of the higher magnification scopes and I couldn't fire my gun for some reason. It was really weird, like I had to keep switching back to my secondary just to get the gun to shoot. So hopefully DICE can get that solved out, and I'm pretty sure they will. Couple other issues with the doors in this game. You know, you're supposed to be able to run through a door, but it didn't work well for me when I tried it. Like I kind of just ran into the door and kept glitching through it and whatnot. But I'm sure they're gonna iron it out again. It's just a beta. The gunplay, it feels really good. It almost feels very similar to Modern Warfare 2019. The guns don't seem to have too much recoil, but I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. You know, the gunfights in Battlefield, they can take place over several meters, so having less recoil isn't necessarily a bad thing. And let's talk about the destruction. Now, the destruction, in my opinion, I don't think it's any different from, say, Battlefield 3's. Now the ground deformation is pretty on par with Battlefield 1's, but as far as destruction go, it is not Bad Company 2 levels of destruction. I personally don't think DICE will ever bring Bad Company 2 levels of destruction back because they even said it just messes up the flow of the gameplay, which that's understandable, but the destruction, it's pretty much on par with Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. You know, you can blow holes in walls and whatnot. You can level buildings, but it's still not on the level of Bad Company 2, which came out in 2010. And I don't think DICE will ever go back to that level of destruction because, again, they did state that it messes with the flow of the gameplay, and that's kind of true because if you guys remember back in BC2 on Erica Harbor, by the end of the match, there were literally no buildings left. It was just a flat map, basically. So destruction, it's still a pretty good spot, but hopefully it's a little better in the full game. You can tell that all the effects still aren't quite there yet because, again, it is just a beta, and DICE has already stated that this build is several months old, going off DICE, so we'll see. Now, again, the game still looks really good even on all low settings, and that's what I'm planning on because, again, my PC just isn't up to par anymore. It was a beast back in the day, but now it's not as good as it was. So performance, if you guys are playing this on old hardware, just be warned that you're not going to be able to enjoy it how you think you will. If you have a next gen console, I would probably recommend getting that version just because the performance is probably going to be a little better than us with the older gaming hardwares. Now, in the clip coming up, you're going to see some of the tornado footage, and oh my goodness, I had so much fun just kind of messing around in the tornado. As you can see, I was in that tornado for several minutes, and I actually was able to get a few kills as well while people were in there, because when you're in the tornado, you're taking damage, so it makes easy pickings if you can lock onto an enemy and take them out. Like, I want to say I dropped a few guys and like maybe 2 bullets, but you'll see coming up a little later on. And as you can see here, me and all these guys are just kind of rushing towards the tornado because we embracing it. We want to see what exactly this tornado can do. And as you can see, like, the effects are crazy. Like the sound of it's insane, and it just picks you up and takes you in the air. And yes, again, you can take damage while you're in a tornado. There's a way to avoid taking damage. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but there was moments where I was kind of just floating around with the parachute, just staying in the air and just kind of going around in circles. Just, oh, look at that. That is insanity. Dice is freaking crazy, and that's where you see me take out that guy. He just dropped like a rock really fast. But yeah, this tornado is insane. Apparently, you would probably only see the tornado in 1 out of every 20 games. I want to say this was like my 5th match, and I finally got to see the tornado. They did tone it down from feedback based off what some of the insiders played. They said the tornado was kind of just disrupting the gameplay too much, so DICE did tone it down. So you won't see the tornado too much. It'll be more of one of those rare events where either it'll happen or it won't happen. But man, it was pretty fun just kind of floating around in the tornado. I'm actually glad DICE made it so you don't just die instantly when you're in the tornado, because that wouldn't be any fun. I mean, look at this. You got like me and several other people just kind of embracing the tornado and having fun with it. So yeah. Again, these are kind of just my first impressions of the beta. I don't really want to judge it too harshly because, again, I am running it on older hardware and I'm not getting quite the performance that I'd hoped. So, have you guys played the beta? And if so, are you enjoying it? What are your thoughts on it? Are you playing on old gen hardware, new gen hardware, or are you on PC? Leave your thoughts below. And if you could, take a second to go ahead and like the video. It'll really help me grow my channel. Go ahead and subscribe and turn on that notification bell, because I do have more gameplay coming soon. And I'll leave you guys with the last bit of this gameplay, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.
Hit it one out.